All right, so this is Fliplet Studio. And here you can see I've got the onboarding screen. So this is just a simple onboarding screen that describes the key features of the app. If you like these graphics, you're able to use them. They're open source. And then I click Get Started. Now what it'll do is it'll take me to the login screen. As you can see here, it includes some demo login details. I can also register. If my organization wants to, we can use the corporate login using a single sign-on that I mentioned earlier. I recommend that organizations include this disclaimer. The disclaimer explains how the app will work and what it'll be doing with the data that's collected. It will also explain expectations of the people that are going to use the app. And the idea is that they would sign up to this app before they return to the office, so that the disclaimer is a kind of front and center in people's minds before they get too distracted with playing around with the app. And you can see here that I have to tick this box and click continue to proceed. Once I've done that, I get taken to the menu. Now this is quite simple at the moment and it's quite busy. This is still a work in progress. We'll be launching this early next week, but it gives you a good idea for the feature functionality. So the first thing is, you can see at the top, I've got three kind of quick action icons: update status, check in out, or book a desk. I'll show you each of those in a second. And then underneath that, it's currently telling me I'm checked in to the Chicago office on level 11. Now, if I've already left for the day, I can just click check out and that'll check me out. I don't have to go and find a QR code, scan it, because there's a good chance that I might be only going to the office once a week, for example. And if I'm only going once a week, I don't want to wait a whole week before I can check out again. So we figured building a checkout capability into the app is important, but if you want to check in, you've got to physically be near the barcode. If I wanted to update my status, I can, the purpose of status is once a week, I tell my colleagues my intention. And this is a very kind of simple way that I can tell my colleagues where they can expect to find me. So you can see here, I can just say, okay, Monday I'm going to the office, the next couple of days I'm working from home, and then I'm on vacation on Friday. So, don't be surprised if I'm not responding. Don't worry, I'm not unwell. It was planned. I wasn't going to be there. Then I can answer two simple questions. Have you had any COVID-19 symptoms in the last 7 days? And has anyone you live with had COVID-19 symptoms in the last 14 days? I can also include notes here if I think that that is relevant for my colleagues to understand my answers, and I click submit. Now, this information about have you had any symptoms isn't necessarily shown to anybody else in the organization. It might just be used by the office managers to do their best to keep the workplace safe. And then I click submit. So the idea is that the app will remind me to do that once a week. When I'm then at the office and I want to check in, I would visit the attendance screen and I would get some form of scanning, barcode scanning interface that looks like this. Because this is a web app, I'm not able to demo in real time the barcode scanning, but trust me, it works. And then once I've successfully scanned, I'll hopefully get a green tick. It'll tell me I've been checked in, and optionally I can say if I have any guests with me and click save. If there are any issues, I can just click scan again. It'll take me back to the scanning screen, and off I go. I can just rescan. So that's pretty simple, pretty powerful, but pretty simple. And then finally, I can also book a desk. So as you can see here, these are my existing bookings. You can see that one of them has been approved and one of them is currently not approved. If I want to add a new booking, I just click the plus button and I pick the office. And then the spaces will automatically be filtered by that office. So I can pick the office. You can see here it's saying how many spaces are available, which is important. There's no point in me booking a space that's already been booked up. And then I can book multiple days at once, just because I think there's we don't want to make it that you have to book every single day. We believe that that's a bit too much friction, but we also don't want to make it so easy that you can book for 3 months in advance. As we know, with recurring meetings in meeting rooms, it's highly likely that people will book way in advance and then won't necessarily show up. You could set an arrival time and a departure time. This information can all be adjusted by the office manager. So when I'm accepting this, if I say, well, actually there's 50 people showing up at 8 a.m., I could tweak that to say come at 8:30. And I can put in the total number of people. So if I was having a client meeting, I could put in, I actually need 3 people, which is relevant. And any notes for the reviewer. You might want to change notes for the booking reviewer to be something along the lines of like, why do you have to travel to the office, or why can't this be done remote, etc. You may want to do that from a perspective of auditing as well. And then I click request booking, and it will trigger an email off to the relevant office manager. And when the office manager accepts or declines my request, I will then be notified. So that's the booking. So we've got a newsfeed. It's a fairly standard newsfeed. I'm not going to show you that. We've got COVID-19 guidance, which is really just information about these are the rules we're following. And as I mentioned, these can be tailored on a per office basis, or you can just keep them high level. We believe that different organizations are going to want to have different sets of information on this screen. So we're going to provide some high level materials, but organizations will then be able to change it. People directory, this is quite different to the normal directories. I'm sure you've already noticed. So for example, Karen Brown, you can see here, she's going to be working at home on Monday, at home on Wednesday, and on Friday she's having a vacation, and on Tuesday and Thursday she's intending to be in the office. If I click through, I can see a bit more information. I can also see that her status note, oh dear, she's saying she's unwell, but she's told us she's going to come into the office. Maybe we should get in touch with Karen and have a conversation with her. And I can also see that she last updated on the 13th of May, so at least I know the information is relevant. So there are a couple of really like minor but very important changes we've made to the directory. We've also got the office status. So let's have a look at the Paris office. So in here, you can see that it's now listing the individual spaces with the number of desks available and the amount of open or unbooked desks. And if I want to, I can have a shortcut here to click book, which will take me straight through preset Paris, preset level 4 desk area, and enable me to very efficiently place a booking for that area. Also, I can see, not to waste my time, if there are no available spaces, there's no point going and looking. And up here, you can see the Manage Space button. This will only appear for office managers, and this will enable them to go into a series of management screens to manage this information. You can also see right at the bottom here, it's got status notes, and it currently says no restrictions. If you had some additional restrictions, for example, currently level 4 is closed, somebody reported COVID symptoms, the cleaners will be in later this week to do a very deep clean. That is now shut. You can put that in here in case people are surprised why their booking got cancelled for a desk. It's because we were forced to take action. We've also got the order food capability. So you'll be able to upload a spreadsheet of the food products from the canteen. Hopefully that makes uploading information easy. Yes, before anybody tells me, this is not a picture of Coca-Cola, I know. So I can go in, I can see the information about the product, and you can see down here, I've already got some items in my checkout. If I go to my checkout, it basically is a list of the items. I can delete them from my checkout. I can then specify if I want to specify a time for picking up. So like, let's say I eat lunch at 2 p.m. Well, I don't want I don't want my sandwich ready to go at 12. So I specify 2 p.m. here. I can specify it's collect or deliver. If it's deliver, I get to specify where I am in the building. So they'll come and find me. Again, this helps to remove overcrowding in canteen or busy common areas. And you can see you've got the notes field as well. So you click submit. That will then send the order through to the canteen. The canteen will have a computer or an iPad sitting there, very similar to kind of what Uber Eats has in restaurants, where it just has a display. As orders come in, the screen will flash, new orders will pop up. Somebody can tap on the order, see the order, fulfill the order, and when it's fulfilled, click fulfilled. If they're not able to fulfill the order, they can reject the order. The person will be told and they can resubmit another order. So it's a pretty simple flow. We're deliberately not getting involved in the payment process. We know most organizations already have existing payment systems for their canteens. We are not getting involved in that space. You will continue to manage payment as you currently would. And finally, I'm just going to, I'll quickly show the settings. So in the settings, you can configure your notification settings as well as configure other details about yourself. The key thing here is being able to say, I want push notifications, email, and SMS, which hopefully most people will configure.